Okay, welcome back to the channel. This is The Mad Knives, a 5-album, 5-movie sci-fi concept project. And this is a weekly journal entry, TMK002. Show the logo, play the music. No, that's not right. Don't do it yet. Okay, so we're doing one of our weekly journal entries, and we're going to start things out with where things are at. Where am I? This is fairly simple. We are in album 1 of 5. That's album and movie 1 of 5. It's fully written and demoed, which is lucky. That work is done. Final instrument tracks are done, and we're looking for singers. That's overall where we are. Okay, the next thing to talk about in our journal entry here is what happened last week. So I posted and scheduled my first YouTube and Instagram videos and shorts and reels. That was a big step, and I'm feeling pretty good about the posting schedule. The videos are going well. Started sharing this whole project with my friends, my network, and the internet at large. And the last thing that really happened last week was that I got into a schedule, like a workflow with all of this, because I'm trying to do 2 videos a week and all of the shorts and screen grabs and everything that happen around that. So got into a schedule, which is good. So these are the facts, I guess, as they stand. Not really diving much into how I feel about any of them, but luckily that is the next section. Feelings. There were a lot of feelings this week, weirdly. I wasn't expecting all of that. I was just sort of expecting to get to work. So the first thing I noticed was that there was like this weird silence. I don't know what I was expecting, but right after I posted everything and texted everybody and sent links to all my friends and stuff, there was like this initial wave of excitement. Everybody was responding and liking and subscribing and really interested, and I love them for it, because that I wasn't expecting all of that. But then the funny thing that happens after that is that like a few hours later, it kind of just all stops. And then you're sitting here just going, okay, I did the thing. What happens next? And you forget that this is like a big, long process. The next feeling I had was red light fever. If anybody is familiar with recording or tracking or red light fever, recording or tracking or really doing anything where you push a red button and then you go, there are weird nerves that come along with that, and just in general it feels odd just talking to the internet. So there's nerves that come along with it. And then the next thing that happened to me was I suddenly realized the scope of this whole thing. Like, I've known for a long time that this is a big project, and like a really big project. There's lots of ins and outs to it, and it's going to take me a while to even like present my thoughts on this channel. So I suddenly became very aware of how giant this project is, and how many things have to happen to get to even the next plateau, let alone trying to finish the whole thing, which really you can't even think about. It's way too much. Okay, this next one in my notes is interesting. Artistic trepidation. Am I really going to spell that? Artistic. We're going to say that's close. Artistic trepidation, meaning, so as soon as I started sharing it with people, I was immediately thinking, Will anybody like it? Will anybody think it's good? Does everybody think it's dumb? Will I find the right fit when I'm reaching for collaborators? Will there be any to choose from? Will the field of options be good? Will we get along? Like in my youth, I was in bands, like normal bands, and there was always situation where you have to find bandmates at some point. Like we were always looking for a bass player for some reason. I guess that's probably pretty common. But you not only do you have to find them, but then you have to hope that they're sort of a good fit for the style that you're working in and that they're interested in it and then that everybody gets along. So I started to worry about all that stuff, which it's probably too early to worry about it. And then, okay, this was a good feeling. My network is stronger than I thought it was going to be. And I should have known, because it's a small circle of friends, but they're good friends. Like I never should have doubted any of them. Not only that, they're talented in many different ways and good at lots of different things. And their networks are more expansive than mine. And most of them are generous enough to like share immediately people they know who they think could be good for this. So that actually was a series of good feelings. I was worried about people liking it, and then the handful of friends that I sent it to were immediately really enthusiastic and positive about the whole thing and like willing to help any way they could. So surprised when I shouldn't have been. My friends are cool people. And also just like grateful, just in general grateful that everybody had like a positive reaction, and makes me excited for the future. Even though this is tough, I think there's people that are willing to help. Okay, so what's next? What's going to happen next week or this coming week? What's on the docket? Well, the big thing is just singers. That's kind of the main issue at hand right now. But I've been thinking about it. So right now I'm fishing, and this sort of like presented itself as a metaphor in my mind when I was thinking about it as fishing versus farming. So with all the internet stuff, I'm sort of just like fishing, like I'm casting lines, I'm sending out messages into the ether about what this is and saying over and over again that I need singers. By the way, I need singers. If you are a singer, come check out the website, themadknives.com. Look at some of the other videos about the characters and the project and see if you're interested. So right now I'm fishing, like what I just did. I'm fishing, but I think I also need to start farming, so to speak. So by that, I mean reaching out more directly to people or institutions. So this is a thought that I had, is possibly looking at music schools for a lot of reasons. Talented, enthusiastic, wide-eyed younger people who still have a lot of energy for doing something like this that is, not guaranteed and will require a lot of effort, and it's work. We're all artists, but it's work. Like, it's hard work to apply your skills to an art project. But I'm also thinking if I can find a couple of good music school targets and sort of email the department head or try to get in touch with the professors, that might sort of like broaden out into a bigger circle of possibilities than I have right now. And then the other thing I could be doing, that I should be doing, is reaching out directly to the people that I'm finding on like Instagram, for example, because I am finding a lot of people on Instagram and just kind of saving a list of accounts and clips that I think are potentially a good fit. And so then I get red light fever about the concept of like cold emailing a stranger to work on the project. But that's, what are you going to do about that? Enjoy the fever, get through it, I guess. Okay, and then the other thing that's coming up that I wanted to tell you about is a deep dive video that might already be out by the time this is out, probably will be, a deep dive video into the genre and musical style of the Mad Knives. So one of the really good bits of feedback that I got from a friend of mine was he was telling me he knows lots of singers, but he doesn't know what the project sounds like. And that's a really fair, it's a fair note, because so far in the introduction video, I put a clip of a song that was like, I don't know, 20 seconds or something like that. So there's a brief amount of information out about what this all sounds like, a small amount of information. So the next deep dive video is going to be lots of clips from the album so you can see what kind of music this is. In my mind, it's like an indie rock project. And the biggest sonic separator is that it's all keyboards and synthesizers and no guitars on the first album. There will be guitars on the second album, but the first album is very keyboard and synth centric. And I'm going to pick out some good samples and show them to everybody. So look for that deep dive video, because I think that's going to go a long way to help explain more about what this project actually sounds like. That is basically it, though, for the weekly journal. We're going to keep doing these every week. So now we're to the part of the video where you like and subscribe and tell all of your friends. And especially if you are a singer, get in touch with me. This whole thing is an invitation. That's sort of the purpose of this channel. It's an invitation to come and play with the Mad Knives, frankly, which is a lyric from the last song of the album. Come and play with the Mad Knives. So right now, singers, if you are a singer, please go visit the website, themadknives.com. There is a bunch of information about the project there, and also a contact form. It's, I think the tab is called recruitment, because of the themes involved. But that's where you can get in touch with me through the website. You can send me your contact info and maybe some links to your work. Otherwise, directly on YouTube or Instagram. YouTube on this channel, Instagram at the Mad Knives. And get in touch. So we're going to wrap this up. Like and subscribe. Silly to ask, but I got to do it. That helps. And if you're a singer, come say, hey, come and play with the Mad Knives if you survived. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next week.